You want to talk about the endings? And I say endings because there are multiple ones, or do you want to do something else you want to say?
No, go for it.
First off, Allison, she goes to her house and sees her daughter and her boyfriend from the 60s, who's now in the current time. So there are two possibilities about what this could be. One is that it's a hallucination. So some of the evidence of this, she's not healed like the others. Five's hand is back. Diego's fingers are back. She still has a wound on her arm.
Right.
Another option, another potential possibility is whoever hits the button gets whatever they want.
Okay.
So like Hargreaves thought it was going to be him and it was going to reset the universe and give him his wife back. And it did just by circumstance. But because Allison hit it, it also gave her everything she wanted.
Okay.
It also explains why she's not in the elevator with them. It probably just sets you wherever you want to go, you know? Because she's in that like little bubble that honestly could be its own like escape pod.
Pocket dimension or whatever,
right.
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't know if you want to talk about that at all or move on to the next one.
She could be dead.
She could be dead.
I
don't know why she would be, though. Because
I don't know either, but
because Reginald would have been the one to hit the button, and he probably would not have wanted to die.
Yes, but that is one thought that I had. Because the only reason I had that thought is because when Luther and Klaus are having their fight in the afterlife, and they jump into the bouncy castle, Klaus said, this is someone's idea of heaven. And I was like, oh, okay. So in this universe, heaven is whatever you want it to be.
Oh, that's a hot take. I thought you were going to say the bouncy castle was her heaven. And I was like, I don't think that's true.
No. But they go through, because like, you know, they go through a field and then they goes and
oh my
that's
God.
I
think you're right.
They're at a kid's birthday party and he says, this is someone's idea of heaven. And so therefore what he's saying is that everyone's heaven is individual.
That's a take that I have not heard yet. And I think you're right.
And I was like, it doesn't, her daughter is the age when she left, which makes sense because the whole series is so
Harlan puts the date in the sign-in book and it's still 2019.
Yeah, because it's only been a month since season 1. Which, by the way, for Victor, then is a crazy ass month.
I know, right?
he's averted 3 apocalypse and changed and gone through transition. That's crazy.
Also for 5, who's now 2 feet taller than he was 28 days ago.
Right, exactly. But yeah, so her daughter is pretty much the same age as when she left, which makes sense. But also, her husband from the 60s has not aged at all, which would like. That part wouldn't make sense. It would make sense if for some reason he walked in and this is some weird, again, another alternate timeline where she has her daughter and she married that guy and they've been married since the 60s, but then he would have to be like, 50 years older.
Yeah.
That
was another reason I thought it was a hallucination because she has a hallucination with him on the swing set. So I thought that could be it. But I think you're right.
Whatever it was, because also you have to leave the possibility that even though Hargrave was doing something, that doesn't mean it was gonna work. Hargreaves. Did I say Graves? Hargreaves. Yes. It doesn't, whatever.
Are you trying to get every name wrong at some point during this?
I wasn't at first, but now that you say it, maybe I'm just going to start doing it.
If you do a couple more, you're going to get a free sub.
I really hope so. That doesn't necessarily mean that what he was going to do was going to work. You know what I mean? Chances are it would have, knowing him. But it's not for certain. Or whatever he was doing would have worked for him, but she also like killed him and then released them and then pushed the button, which also seemed like she knew she was doing, because she said you have to trust me or something like that. She says some sort of line to that effect of like, you got to trust me. And I think she knew what she was doing.
Yeah, you might be right. Based on the conversation she had with Hargreaves.
Because the whole thing is he had to push the button while they were getting their things sucked out of them. But she then releases them and then pushes the button. So I think that she released them knowing it was going to cause them to live, and she sacrificed herself and pushed the button. And that puts her back in her version of heaven.